Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to King Arena for tonight's CCIW basketball matchup between the number 11 in the country, Wheaton Thunder, and the visiting Elmhurst Blue Jays. We're going to go down to the floor in just a moment here for the national anthem and the starting lineups, and after that, myself and my co-host Dalton Van Esselson will be back with you to bring you this exciting night of basketball.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wheaton College basketball. Tonight we have your Wheaton College Thunder going up against the Elmhurst University Blue Jays. And now would everyone please rise for the playing of the national anthem. And now the starting lineups. First for the visitors from Elmhurst. At guard, a 6'3" senior out of Schiller Park, number 2, Ocean Johnson. At guard, a 6'6" junior out of Fishers, Indiana, 3, Cole Hornbuckle. At guard, a 6'3" junior out of Vernon Hills, Stevenson High School, number 10, John Itunis. At guard, a 6' senior out of Chicago, that's 11, Miles Thomas. And at center, a 6'6" senior out of Southlake, 15, Jonathan Zapinski. The Blue Jays are coached by John Bain, who's assisted by Peyton Wyatt, Tyler Pierce, and Stefan Balaban. And now, Wheaton College fans, on your feet, the starting lineup for your Wheaton College Thunder. At guard, a 6'3" senior out of Bowie, number 3, Eddie Scott. At guard, a 5'11" grad student out of Thunder Ridge, number 13, Tyson Cruikshank. At guard, a 6'5" senior out of Portage, number 22, Eli Considine. At forward, a 6'7" grad student out of San Diego, number 23, T.J. Askew. And at guard, a 6'4" junior out of Columbus, number 24, Nick Chiavello. Wheaton College is coached by Mike Schauer, who's assisted by J.P. John Tanner and Mr. Zach Quam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We just heard the starting lineups for tonight's action. This is a different Elmhurst team than we've seen over the past few years. Dalton was able to see this Elmhurst team in action last year quite a bit, both over a live stream and in person. This Elmhurst Blue Jays team actually was the national runner-up, losing to Randolph-Macon in the final. So they're going to be playing with a little bit different team than we've seen in past years, but plenty of talent on this Blue Jays squad, and the Thunder are going to continue their hopes of rolling through this season. Considine not able to win the tip-off. It's Zapinski winning that one. Zapinski, a big part of the Blue Jays team this year, averaging double-digit rebounds and 3.5 blocks a game. So really important defensive facet of this Blue Jays team. So far, they're moving quickly on the offensive end. That's a nice finish from guard Miles Thomas, taking it in from the perimeter. Just a nice left-handed finish.
Yeah, this Elmhurst team, as you mentioned before, Josh, has a lot of experience against Wheaton. I mean, last year at Elmhurst, Jake Rohde, a former player of the Blue Jays, he shot a buzzer beater to beat Wheaton at Elmhurst, but then missed a buzzer beater at Wheaton last year. So 2 close games against Wheaton. So this will definitely be a close and good contest tonight.
Askew and Cruikshank running a 2-man game, and Askew blocked there by Zapinski. So Zapinski averaging 3.5 blocks, already got 1 on the night. Good ball movement here from the Blue Jays. Now in the hands of Cole Hornbuckle, using the screen from Zapinski. Hornbuckle back to Zapinski. Now in the hands of John Atunis. Atunis driving, working against Tyson Cruikshank, and gets the mid-range J to fall. So the Thunder scoreless right now. Elmhurst putting in 2 two-pointers, so they're up 4-0 here at King Arena. Chavello now with the ball. Now to Considine. Back to TJ Askew now. Unloads from 3. That one just a little off to the right. Dalton, this Thunder team has started slow in some of their contests so far this year, so I'm not exactly surprised to see the offense start off a little stagnant, but have no doubt that they're going to pick it up as Zapinski getting handled by Considine, but Zapinski able to finish off with some nice moves down in the post, and Wheaton now down 6-0. Still nothing on the board for them. Trying to slow things down here. Eddie Scott with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, Wheaton, I mean, they played last Saturday, so they had a week off, and you always can get out to a slow start taking a week off. As we see a turnover here as Cruikshank steps on the baseline. It'll be Elmhurst ball 3 minutes into this game. But yeah, the week off really hurts a team who, needs a good rhythm to get in transition and get the feel back. So not surprised that in these first 2 minutes, Wheaton shows that they're a little slow right out of the gate.
Yeah, so far, TJ Askew, the only Wheaton player who's registered a shot. He's shot 2 and had 1 blocked and missed the other. Now Zapinski working against Considine. We've seen Considine matched up against bigger guys. Last week we saw that against Jalen Overway. He did a great job. Eli did that, and Tyson almost loses the handle, able to keep it alive. What a play from Tyson Cruikshank to keep the offensive possession alive. Back to Cruikshank now, working against Turner. Now to Considine. Considine looking. Askew wanted it in the post for a second, and Eddie Scott unloads the 3. That one off to the left, so Thunder not able to hit still. Still a big 0 on the scoreboard for them. Turner in the ball in his hands now, moving it around still. Good ball movement. Oh man, what a tough finish from John Atunis against Tyson Cruikshank. Blue Jays 8-0 run ends on that nice finish. There's going to be a timeout.
That is definitely not the start that Coach Schauer wanted, as we see Itunis cut through the lane there and finish with a long outreached arm. But 8 points right off the gate and none for Wheaton is definitely something that Schauer is not happy with, and Wheaton is just kind of a little sloppy on the offensive side, settling for bad jumpers and just not really working through the progressions on offense. They're doing a poor job of driving into the lane and looking for the outlet pass and kicking it out for open threes. If they can just get their head down, their best offense is when they drive to the paint and look for open shooters on the outside. So hopefully they can drop a play, as we see Andrew Williams come into the game right off the bat for Eddie Scott. He's always been the spark plug for this Wheaton offense, not only on defense but on offense as well, and he's just been a great player this whole year. Senior out of Fishers, Indiana, and he's going to come in and bring the ball up the court.
Yeah, I think this Elmhurst team is honestly the first one that we've seen really take advantage of Wheaton's early struggles, and like we've said, there have been a lot of games this season where the Thunder have just started slow and really turned it up as the game progresses. They're a team that is absolutely excellent in the second half, but they've got to get something going here, and no better way to do that than a Tyson Cruikshank bucket. He puts in the mid-range J.
And if you need a bucket, you give it to your captain and let him get to his spot on the elbow and cash in.
Yeah, Tyson has just been such a crucial player for this Thunder team, and that's going to be a travel. That one goes against Cole Hornbuckle, and that's a good turn of events there for the Thunder.
Yeah, he moved that left foot, which was his pivot foot, and took a couple steps before putting the ball on the court. This Elmhurst team got out to a hot start with 5 straight wins. This Cruikshank misses that, but they were preseason ranked in the 20s, and then they got all the way up to 11, but then lost 2 conference games to Illinois Wesleyan and Carthage College, but then picked up a win in Michigan against Kalamazoo, so they're back to their winning ways right now, but they are definitely a team that, you know, is a force to be reckoned with. Even though they are technically unranked at the moment, they are a ranked caliber team.
Yeah, especially when you consider the fact that these teams are CCIW rivals. They are used to playing a lot of time against each other. There's just always a little bit more going into these CCIW games.
Yeah, Elmhurst beat Wheaton in the CCIW playoffs en route to a win over North Central for the CCIW championship last year. So there is definitely good competition and a good rivalry here in the past few years against Elmhurst and Wheaton.
Great defensive play there from Tyson. Active hands, poked the ball out. It was taken then by Andrew Williams, so the Thunder now have a chance to answer. Tyson almost lost that one. That was almost taken away by Hornbuckle. Now to TJ Askew. Eli Constein, that ball go through his hands and almost over to the table here, and that's going to be blocked by Considine. Oh, but they still get the offensive rebound to fall. Not a great turn of events for the Thunder, but good defensive play for Constein, making them earn that second bucket.
Yeah, a little slow on the transition defense too, getting back. They kind of walked their way back thinking that Hooker was just going to have an easy layup, but Considine with the block, they weren't able to get back and defend that second shot.
Chavello driving in, beats his man, hit in the air, but no foul call there. Chavello wasn't able to get a shot off there. Empty possession yet again for the Thunder, down 8 now against the Blue Jays. It's loud here in King Arena. TJ Askew guarding John Atunis. Down to Zapinski, guarded by Eli Considine. Zapinski's going to pull up. That one short, rebounded by Askew. Very athletic rebound there from Askew, twisting his body in the air. Andrew Williams, spin move, and gets it to fall. That's going to be an and one opportunity for Andrew Williams. Take a look at the replay here, folks. Andrew Williams goes to his offhand, spins against Zapinski, drops it in. What a finish from Andrew Williams.
Yeah, Andrew felt the defender on his right side and felt that his momentum was bringing him over to the left side of the court, and feeling that, he was able to spin over to his dominant side, get the layup to go, and draw the foul. To see Cole Reed checking into the game for the injured Connor Braun. Connor's out right now with a concussion and a fractured nose, so we're seeing Cole get some more playing time than we would usually see, which will be an interesting part of the game that we're going to have to, notice.
Yeah, the Blue Jays making a substitution as well. They've got Anthony Scales, the forward, in. He's number 5 on your screen. Elmhurst continuing to get what they want here on the offensive end. The Thunder have started to put up a little bit more of resistance there as Ocean Johnson almost had that one taken away. Johnson, this Blue Jays team leading scorer, that one almost out of bounds over the head of Hooker, but he was able to pull it in, and Hooker working, but good defense from the Thunder, swarming for the ball. It's finally picked up by TJ Askew after a horde of Thunder players are on the ground, and Andrew Williams is thrown down. That's going to be a block for Zapinski, and Ocean Johnson has plenty of time to set up and find the bottom of the net.
The Thunder fans were not happy with that no call there. I thought it was a fine no call. He went straight up and absorbed the contact, so I'm fine with that being a no call. But Wheaton just a little slow in transition defense again after a contested layup, and then just not getting back on defense, and an open jump shot for Ocean Johnson.
Yeah, Zapinski is going to be a big factor here in this as Cole Reed goes up and gets that one stripped away. Yet another block for the Blue Jays. Zapinski has been the anchor to this Blue Jays defense. Ocean Johnson uncorks a shot, and that's a good three-pointer from Ocean Johnson. The Blue Jays piling it on right now here in King Arena. The Thunder going to need something to happen here, and Tyson going up for a layup. He's fouled, so he's going to get a chance at the line to put 2 more. on the board, but right now momentum sits comfortably in the hands of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Zapinski is this just absolute great rim protector. He's always around the rim, which is explained by the 10 rebounds a game that he gets as Cruikshank makes that first free throw. But the Blue Jays are coming out hot. They have 2 conference losses so far, so I think they really want to get in that win column, and they're showing that they have some energy that they want to get out and show on the court and get out in the fast break, whether it's an open jump shot or a layup.
Yeah, the Blue Jays have a pretty loyal crowd here tonight too, so trying to negate a little bit of the energy of King Arena.
Yeah, it's a pretty short drive for all the Elmhurst fans. It's probably about 30 minutes from Elmhurst to Wheaton, so not surprising that there are a lot of Elmhurst fans here.
Good ball movement here from the Blue Jays. Nice pass down low. There's going to be a travel called there, so the Blue Jays had a promising look at the basket there, but gets taken away by the travel called against Anthony Scales. The Thunder are going to have a chance to try and cut more into this 8-point lead that the Blue Jays have. TJ Askew on the 3-point line. Zapinski playing a little bit closer to him, and that's going to be Tyson for 3, and that one's good. Tyson Cruikshank is as sure as can be from the 3-point line when you give him enough time and space, and he knocks that one down to cut this Blue Jays lead down to 5. Scales.
That's a charge. It's got to be.
That's going to be a charge. Nice play there from Andrew Williams.
That's great work by Williams right there, beating him to the spot, setting his feet, and just absorbing all that contact and taking a hard hit to the ground. But that is just great effort by Williams.
Andrew Williams so far has been the tone setter for this Thunder team. He has that beautiful and one finish. Gave him 3 points on the night. You have that charge there. He's got a steal as well. He could be a big deciding factor in the result of this game tonight. Williams driving here, gets it to Tyson. Moving 3-pointer. Oh, that one off to the left and rebounded by Zapinski. Zapinski just been absolutely crucial for this Blue Jays team so far tonight, and there's still a lot of game left to be played. Zapinski already has 3 blocks, as well as a handful of rebounds. That ball stripped away by the Thunder. Oh, and they give it right back. The Blue Jays going to have another chance to regroup here. Zapinski working against Considine. Gets it to Hooker. More passing around the perimeter here for the Blue Jays. Now in the hands of Wallach. Wallach goes up for the shot. That one just off, but offensive rebound. Blue Jays not able to get that. We've got a foul here.
Reese Taylor's going to head to the line for the Blue Jays. We see good defense there by Williams on that contest, but just failure to locate Reese Taylor and box him out. And he just, sneaks his way in towards the rim, grabs the offensive board, and earns himself a trip to the line. And the fans will go wild for that missed free throws. They're doing their best to distract Taylor at the line. We're seeing Chavella check back in, and Eddie Scott as well for Williams and Askew.
Yeah, this Blue Jays team plays at a really high pace, so I think we're going to see a lot of substitutions for both teams tonight, but the Thunder are going to need to substitute to keep fresh legs on the court. Taylor makes the second. The
Blue Jays average 86 points per game, so they definitely like to get their shots up quickly and get out on the fast break to score at a high pace. And Wheaton is a team that only lets up 61 points a game, and that leads the CCIW in points allowed. Great backdoor cut by Snyder's there, and great feed by Scott.
Yep, good ball movement. Always leads to points, especially with this Thunder team. Ocean Johnson moving off. Johnson gets Javello in the air after the pump fake, but not able to get it to fall. Taylor, nice rebound. Hooker, 3-point shot. That one's no good off the heel. Battle for the rebound down low. Eddie Scott able to come away with it. Gets it to Nick Javello. The Thunder pushing the pace. Corner for Tyson Cruikshank. Tyson moving now to Eddie Scott. Thinks about the 3 and ends up taking it. That one off to the right. Eddie Scott able to hit there, but the Thunder now down 4. Early shot clock 3-pointer for the Blue Jays.
That one. That should be. That hit the top of the scoreboard.
They're trying to get that one off. That's going to stay with Wheaton, so good call there from the referee. Saw that one hit the shot clock and went out of bounds there.
We're seeing Elmhurst really do well in the fast break, filling the lanes and going to the corner or the wings, and they're always passing it up ahead for open threes on the fast break.
Thunder now down 4. Just about halfway through this first half. Eddie Scott, handoff to Micah Schneiders. Schneiders sizing up his opponent. Now Eli Constein, now Eddie Scott with it. Good defense here from the Blue Jays. Shot clock under 10. Chevello picks up his dribble, trapped a little bit here. Tyson Cruikshank is going to have to put up a shot. Tyson off the dribble. Oh, that one no good. Just a little too much on that one.
Did a good job with the hesitation to get the defender to bite a little bit and get an open shot at the end of the shot clock. Unable to get to go, but Wheaton only down 4 after a slow start, and now they're on a fast break. They got numbers.
Oh, Schneiders. Lots of contact at the top. That's going to be a foul against
Wesley Hooker. That'll be a foul on him. And Wheaton has a chance to cut this down to just a 2-point game. Just over 10 minutes left to go in this first half. Wesley Hooker is a great player for the Blue Jays, great player last year, and comes off the bench tonight, but he averages 15 points a game this season. His second leading scorer for the Blue Jays.
Schneiders
bears the first.
He's got a great pure shooting stroke. TJ Askew is going to check in for the Thunder. Tyson's going to get a well-deserved break.
I don't think he'll be sitting for long as a guy who plays a lot of minutes a game. I mean, he averages 33 minutes a game. So he's been getting about 7 minutes of rest.
Schneiders misses the second, so 1 for 2 from the line from him. Thunder down 3. Both teams have cooled off scoring-wise, especially the Blue Jays after that early big run. There's Reese Taylor working, gets it to Ocean Johnson. Johnson working against Chevello. Johnson up, floats in the air, not able to get that one to fall. Battle for the rebound. Chevello able to collect it before falling out of bounds. Great play from Nick Chevello. Now to TJ Askew, to Nick Chevello, who's got an open three-point look. Chevello, that one short off the front iron. Rebound, Blue Jays. Hooker to Taylor, and that's going to be a travel against Reese Taylor. The Thunder catch a break.
And that's the third travel against the Blue Jays tonight. They're showing that they want to get out and run, but they got to put the ball on the ground before that.
Coach JP on the Thunder bench communicating to his guys. Itunis is back in, as well as Cole Hornbuckle for the Blue Jays. Considine gets that one stripped away by Hornbuckle. He's got an open look at the rim, and Considine lost a step at Hornbuckle, like you said, Dalton. Smoked it. TJ Askew, nice feed to Eddie Scott, and that one, Eddie Scott just didn't have the hands there, and that one goes out of bounds in between the legs of Eddie Scott there, but
I don't think he needs to take the dribble there. He keeps himself cool, calm, and collected. He could put the ball down, but just a little too quick. He had Schneiders open in the corner, so if he took a little bit more time, he'll be able to kick it out for an open 3.
So both teams kind of missing an opportunity there. The Hornbuckle missed layup, and then the Thunder just kind of giving the ball right back. And
we're going to call a foul on Williams here on the drive.
So Hornbuckle draws one. Thunder fans not happy about that call.
And we're seeing Tyson come back into the game for Schneiders, so about a minute rest for Tyson.
Yeah, but good chance for him to get some hydration in him as Zapinski tries to get one to go. He's had very little success on the offensive end against Eli Considine. But on the defensive end, Zapinski has been just absolutely fantastic. Considine now with the ball to Chevello. Back to Considine. Now to TJ Askew. Thunder need to get something going here. Askew almost able to get that impressive finish, and that's going to be a jump ball.
Foul. They're calling a foul on that.
A foul. Looks like a jump ball for a second there. The referee's conferring here.
They're going to call a foul on Andrew.
Yep, that's going to be a foul against Andrew Williams.
Or maybe, no, I think it's going to be on Askew, actually.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. More substitutions here for the Thunder. Eli Considine comes out. Cole Reed in. Keeping some size in the game by keeping Cole Reed in.
And without Braun tonight, it's been really tough to, figure out the right flow with Cole Reed in the lineup. especially on the defensive side too, as Braun is always a great second defender. Now we have a timeout. I think it'll be an Elmhurst timeout.
Yep.
But without Braun in the game, he was a great backup guy to come in and defend the bigger guy on Elmhurst. It's going to be interesting to see how Cole Reed will fill those shoes for tonight.
Yeah, that will be something to watch. Both teams playing pretty fast so far. We've seen both teams really kind of hit the wall offensively. Not a lot of scoring going on at all the past few minutes of this one. Elmhurst was out to a hot start. At one point finding themselves up 10 against the Thunder.
Wheaton's been on about an 8-1 run right now, which I don't know if I can call it a run because it's not been that fast-paced. But nonetheless, they've been able to get back into this game, only down 3 points with 8 minutes left to go in this half. A little low scoring right now, but that should change because both of these teams are great offensively.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier, Dalton, when you were talking about Elmhurst's points per game versus Wheaton, what they allow on the defensive end, one of those is going to have to give in tonight's game, and it's Cole Hornbuckle hitting the hardwood.
Calling a foul on Askew here as he brings his hands down. Looks like a little bit of a slip, but then the hands on him did not help as much.
So the Blue Jays will have a chance at an inbound here and a fresh shot clock. It'll be Itunis on the inbound. He gets it to Ocean Johnson, working against Chevelle to Sapinski now, to Hornbuckle. Now back to Itunis. Itunis working against Micah Schneiders. Itunis turnaround jumper, that one no good. The Blue Jays have been stagnant near the rim ever since the beginning, and Tyson gets his defender on his heels, but Sapinski comes up with a big block. Sapinski now up to 4 blocks on the night, 7 rebounds as well. He's been absolutely locked in, and Cole Hornbuckle not able to get that one to fall. Rebound, Micah Schneider's body's on the floor. Both teams playing with just a frenetic pace right now.
Wheaton needs to start spreading the floor more to get Sapinski out of the paint because it seems every time they drive in, he's right there just waiting to block somebody. We're going to get a foul called on Miles Thomas.
Yeah, Tyson got a hand to the face there. He was kind of trying to readjust his jaw there just after the replay, after you just saw. But like you're saying, Dalton, Sapinski is just a guy that you have to figure out how to work around. If you're the Thunder offense, Sapinski, I was looking at the Elmhurst stats from this season so far. The second highest block total on this Elmhurst team is 3. Sapinski has now 31 blocks on the season so far, and there's a lot of basketball left to be played in this Division III season as Cole Reed tries to get it to go against Sapinski and not able to, and Reed was trying to go for his own rebound there, but they're going to call that against him over the back.
Sapinski is so good in getting position in the post on defense and on offense as he can fade away from the basket, but Wheaton needs to start spreading the floor with shooters, as I think that's why Considine is about to come into the game. But if they can spread the floor and get Sapinski out, they can either beat him off the dribble with a Considine with the ball or have a better lane to the hoop.
Nick Chiavello with the steal, up ahead to Micah Schneiders, and that one kicked out of Schneider's hands by the body of Miles Thomas, but it's going to stay with the Thunder. Cole Reed checking out. Eli Considine in for him. You know, last game we saw the Thunder play was against Calvin, and they had a similar struggle in the first half against a big Calvin team. They had some big players who played some great interior defense, the most notable of those being Jalen Overway. The Thunder kind of finding themselves in a similar situation as Tyson not able to hit that mid-range turnaround jumper, but the Thunder got around that by shooting a lot of three-pointers, and charge drawn by TJ Askew.
He saw that from a mile away, set his feet right as Hornbuckle was at the three-point line and drew the charge. Another turnover for the Blue Jays. That's their 8th of the night already. Wheaton only has 4 turnovers, so just half of that.
And if you're the Thunder, you have to start capitalizing on those turnovers. The last time I looked at the clock was about 4 minutes ago, and the score was the same as it is now, so both teams just completely stalled offensively. TJ Askew with the ball in his hands now. The Thunder are going to hope to break that. Back to Eli Constein driving in. Constein's got wide open space. That one's short, so no good for him. Zapinski with the rebound. Zapinski already at 9 boards on the night.
Zapinski plays so far down, so every time they try to drive to the hoop, he just is saying, I'll let you take the shot. You're just not going to come towards the rim.
Itunis for 3. That one good. Elmhurst breaks the seal. 6-point lead now for the Blue Jays. Zapinski now up to 11 rebounds on the night. He really kept that possession alive for the Blue Jays.
Askew needs to start looking for a shot because Zapinski is just sagging off so much.
Askew now with the ball in his hands, goes for the mid-range J and gets it to fall.
He needs to keep doing that because Zapinski is sagging off and saying, I'm not going to let you drive past me. I want you to beat me with a shot.
Hooker driving in against Askew, not able to get that one to fall. Rebound, Tyson Cruikshank looking ahead, sizing up the defense, goes in against Zapinski, almost gets the and one to drop. Instead is going to get 2 shots at the line. Great moves here from Tyson, moving through all levels of the defense, and he almost got that ball to drop in.
Yeah, even on that, Zapinski stays so straight up that it's really impressive, his rim protection and defense. But even though he's bigger, he still commits a foul right there.
That'll be the second foul on Zapinski for the night. Tyson misses the first, just a little too strong. That one came off the back.
Wheaton right now is shooting 23% from the field and 12% from the three-point line. So definitely not the shooting start that Wheaton wants to see, as Elmhurst is not doing much better. 34% from the field and 33% from the three-point line.
I was going to say that watching, it seemed like either team has just not been able to buy a bucket no matter what they do. Itunis sizing up Schneider's, driving in, almost taking it all the way. It was almost picked away by Considine. Now in the hands of Tajan Pearson. Pearson working against the smaller Tyson Cruikshank. Pearson turnaround J. That one is good. Hits both sides of the rim before it falls.
A ton of the Blue Jays buckets have been coming on turnarounds and fadeaways. So I guess they've practiced that shot enough to feel comfortable just taking that as their go-to shot.
Yeah, both teams are honestly being forced to take some more difficult shots as Tyson around the back. Pass is good. What a pass from Tyson Cruikshank to a wide-open TJ Askew in the corner, who finishes with a 3-ball. Wheaton now cutting the lead down to 2. But what a pass from Tyson Cruikshank. Ocean Johnson up. That shot no good. Rebound, Eli Considine. Thunder have a chance to even this one up. Tyson speeding up the floor. TJ Askew, other corner. Oh, that shot way off.
He felt like he had to get the shot off quickly, rushed it, pushed it way past the rim.
I'd say even in the past 90 seconds, though, Dalton, we've seen how the pace can really influence this game as TJ Askew loses the handle and ball goes right back to the Blue Jays. Pearson creates space from Scott. Step back, no good off the front iron. Both teams playing really fast right now. Coach Mike Schauer on the Wheaton bench telling his team to slow down a bit, to breathe. TJ Askew now to Tyson Cruikshank. Tyson's going to pull from 3. That one's short. Eddie Scott almost got the offensive rebound, but it's out of bounds on the Blue Jays. That one went out of bounds on Jaden Malachi, the freshman forward.
We're seeing Chevelle come in for Schneiders now. But good action here, good offense from Wheaton so far in the past few minutes. This is just
take a look
find.
at that. Look at that pass around the body of Jaden Malachi.
And that's what Tyson brings. You know, they're going to collapse on him because he's so shifty around the rim. They're going to collapse. The defense will collapse, and there will be open shooters around the three-point line. And Askew cashes in right there.
Yeah, Tyson has just such elite court vision. Oh, cutting Eli Constein, and Eli almost threw it down, but just didn't take off.
I think he lost it on the way up, but was still able to get to go. Now a tie ball game.
Yep.
With just under 3 minutes left to go in this first half. The momentum is shifting in Wheaton's way as the Wheaton crowd is trying to chant defense and get them back into it.
Askew just kind of tripped over himself there, and it gave the Blue Jays a little bit more real estate to work with, so they're able to take advantage of that, put another 2 on the board. We're not seeing a lot of perimeter shooting from either team, which is a little jarring because the last time we saw this Thunder team play against Calvin, they were just shooting 3 after 3. Tyson keeping this one alive. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it to Nick Chiavello. Oh, Chiavello not able to get it. Offensive rebound. Chiavello, and he puts it back.
Chiavello, the play right there.
Chiavello not giving up on the play. Collects his own miss and puts it back. Tie game. 23-23. Timeout from the Blue Jays. Coach John Baines wants to talk it over with his team.
Well, this has just been a good turn of events for Wheaton so far. They've gotten back into good pace of the game, being able to control how they want the pace to be. You know, Elmhurst has kind of fallen out of a good rhythm. They've been missing shots. They've been a little cold on the offensive side, but their defense has been great, and then they've kept Wheaton to only 23 points so far. But Wheaton's been able to take advantage of the last few possessions with backdoor cuts, driving through the baseline, and getting their shot to go on layups.
Yeah, and you know, in the past few minutes, it just seemed like both teams have been able to get whatever they wanted on the offensive end after that stretch of what felt like forever where neither team could really just get anything to fall. Now we find ourselves in a tie ball game. Part of that ability that Thunder have had to score a little bit more at will, I think, had to do with the fact that Zapinski was taking a much-deserved rest on the bench. He's going to be back in the game. Going to hope to provide the Blue Jays with a little bit better rim protection here against this Thunder team. Ocean Johnson with the ball in his hands. Oh, no-look pass to Hooker, who tried to throw it down, and
he got fouled on the way up.
Fouled on the way up, like you said, Dalton, and Askew a little frustrated with himself there. But, man, Hooker got up.
Yeah, he's athletic. I mean, we see that on the defensive side. He's guarding Tyson the whole night. He has great hands and great athleticism. I remember last year in Wheaton, in King Arena, he rose up and tried to dunk, I think, all over Cade Alioff, but it didn't go down then, and this one didn't go either.
Oh, and Hooker misses the first, so he's going to get, at the most, 1 at the line. Thunder fans happy about that. You can see Jack Ryken doing his elf impression, and Hooker able to get the second to fall, so it's going to be 1 point for the Blue Jays there. Tyson Cruikshank once again sizing up the defense for the Thunder. Gets it to TJ Askew, driving against Zapinski. Askew looking, poked away by Zapinski, but Askew takes it right back up, and Askew, I believe he was blocked there. He might have just lost his handle, but it looked like Zapinski got a hand. Yeah, he kind of did there.
Yeah, he kind of just lost on the way up, just bumping into Zapinski. But it's going to stay Wheaton ball with 14 seconds left on the shot clock as we see Askew head to the bench for some more shooting on the court. I think as Eddie Scott is checking in for him.
Yep, so Wheaton going to run with a 3-guard lineup here. Tyson, Eddie Scott, and Micah Schneiders. Tyson going in, and that's going to be waved off. And that's going to be a foul against the Blue Jays.
That's a good take here. You know, Wheaton's trying to get the switch and get Hooker off of Cruikshank so Cruikshank can get something going. And he was able to blow by the defender there, but then draw the foul, and they'll go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Up, so the Thunder in the bonus now. With another foul, they would put the Blue Jays there as well, but Tyson gets the first one to fall. It bounces around, but finds its way to the bottom. So Tyson with a chance to give the Thunder the lead for the first time tonight. And he does. So 25-24, Thunder with the lead. Micah Schneiders playing up on defense. Now Tyson defending the ball handle. Now Ocean Johnson with it. Johnson's had a quiet night so far, the leading scorer for the Blue Jays. He'll look to get hot as this game continues. Itunis working. Passes out to the corner for a 3-point look, and that one good.
Blocked by Tyson.
Blocked by Tyson. Great defensive play from Tyson Cruikshank.
Able to close out on the step back there from Tegan Pearson.
Yeah, and good defensive awareness there from Tyson too, not fouling the 3-point shooter, and he's gonna, Itunis that is gonna get that layup to fall, and going to have a chance for another.
You see Snedders reach his hand in there after he was beat by Itunes. That's something you don't really want to do, is give him a free throw when they have a wide open look at the rim.
So Itunes will get a chance to convert this and one and give the Blue Jays a 2-point lead. Itunes hits. He's been really consistent on the offensive end for his team tonight. He's been able to hit a few from deep. He's been able to go to work inside the arc as well. Played some good on-ball defense.
Yeah, Itunes is third on the team in scoring, averaging 12.4 points a game. Already has 12 tonight. Cruikshank is leading Wheaton with 10 right now.
Speaking of Tyson, he's sizing up Hooker right now. Gets it to Eddie Scott. He's being guarded by Tajan Pearson. Scott trying to create some space. Scott going in. No good. And Nick Chiavello fighting for the ball, and looks like that's going to be out of bounds on the Blue Jays.
Now Pearson was on the baseline as he was going for the ball, and now Wheaton will get an inbounds play.
Excuse me, that was Reese Taylor who the ball went off of. So the Thunder are going to have a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock. We've got under a minute left here in the first half of what's been a defensive battle so far. Tyson Cruikshank with the ball going against Hooker. Tyson knocked around down low and loses the ball. The Blue Jays pushing the pace. Ocean Johnson with it off a nice pass from Miles Thomas and gets the layup to fall. 30 seconds left in this one. The Thunder down 4. Coach Mike Schauer talking to Tyson, telling him to slow down a little bit. The Thunder still have plenty of time to get at least 2 points on the board here.
And they just need to work for a good one. They're forcing up some shots right now and turning the ball over a little too much. They just need to work for a good shot at the rim or a good open three.
They're going to run the clock out here. We've got about a 2.5 second difference between the shot and game clock. Tyson gets it to Eddie Scott. Eddie Scott's going to put up a three. Deep three-pointer is good from Eddie Scott. What a shot, and Hooker is going to chuck up one right before the clock. Eddie Scott, what a shot from him.
Eddie Scott bails out Wheaton there as the shot clock was running down and the game clock was running down. Able to get Wheaton within 1 point, heading into the locker rooms 29-28 in favor of the Blue Jays. But Eddie Scott making it a 1 point game is pretty big for the momentum as they head to the locker rooms. Tyson Cruikshank leading the Thunder with 10 points. Itunes leading the Blue Jays with 12 of their own.
This is Josh Beisel and Dalton Van Esselston. Thank you for joining us for the first half of the action between the Elmhurst Blue Jays and the number 11 Wheaton Thunder. We're going to be back after the brief halftime break for some more basketball action.
I think one of the fun things about deciding where to go to college is that all of your peers are in kind of the same place. Remember, other people have done this, other people have gone before me and will come after me and are going through it with me now, but it's not as isolating as it may feel. I didn't really know what I was looking for at first. It started with me just scrolling through website after website of colleges. I knew I wanted something that was medium-sized. I knew that I wanted a strong natural sciences department. I knew that I wanted to be challenged academically inside the classroom, but I also didn't want life to stop in the classroom. I'm grateful that I was able to visit as many schools as I did. A large part of my decision to attend Wheaton was influenced by my campus visit. What instantly stood out to me was that everyone on campus was smiling. I felt welcomed, I felt appreciated, seen, and wanted. And so the application process itself was really joy-filled. The decision process was quite a different story. I got the decisions and acceptances and rejections back, and rejections stung. I became very stressed. I started to question, do I want to keep going to school? Do I want to go far? Do I want to come closer to home? And that's where I really started to ask, okay, what are the options remaining before me? And Wheaton was again at the top. I started to work with Ellen, my admissions counselor. I just worked with her really closely and had several hour-long phone calls just talking through what does a Wheaton education look like, what is the value of a Wheaton education, and got to have personal conversations and interactions. So even during a time that was really stressful, I felt valued and seen as a whole person rather than just a GPA and test scores.
Neuroscience is the study of probably the most unique organ on the planet, the human brain. What does it mean to be a human person? And then what does it mean to live the good life as a result of understanding that? Where a vast majority of the work is right now is helping cure neurodegenerative disease. Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and our National Institute of Health has been pouring money into trying to understand these diseases. There is a lot of hope for discovery that can really impact somebody's life. It's very easy for an undergraduate student to get involved in research. One of my more recent grads is working with one of the top spinal surgeons in the country, and because of his experience doing research here, he was able to just work his way right into that lab. A majority of my students go on to med school, but I had a physics student who is working for Tesla. We've had philosophy students, and we've had folks from the Bible and theology department come in and really press us hard to be precise about how we're talking about what it means to be a human person. A student in our conservatory here took one of my classes and did a project on the neuroscience of music therapy, and this whole world was opened up. She had a passion for both music and science, and she was able to combine them in a way that she just hadn't seen possible before being here. Any student that is just curious about themselves and the way that they work is going to be really well positioned to study the brain. Faith and science can coexist really well. The unique thing about coming to Wheaton to study neuroscience is the integrative nature of it. You are going to learn about how your brain works and how the cells work and how the neural circuits work, but we won't stop there. We will also teach you about your spirit and your soul and how that might interact with your brain to make you who you are. And so I hope that we're putting students out into the world that can answer the big neuroscientific questions, but then can also challenge their colleagues and their audiences to think deeper and to think more carefully about what it means to be a human person.
When you're looking at colleges, you may look at the sticker price and say to yourself, I'm not applying to that school because I can't afford it. And I would caution you to not close any doors because there is this price tag that is just out of reach. Cost is an important factor, but there's so many other factors to consider. At Wheaton College, we offer academic scholarships as well as Wheaton Grant, which is need-based aid from the college. So a student may receive scholarships in the range of $10,000 to full tuition. They may also receive significant Wheaton Grant based on need, and we determine that, like most institutions do, based on the information that is found on the free application for federal student aid. Colleges aren't commodities. They're not all the same. And there'll be value questions that you have to ask along the way. There's value in knowing that Wheaton alumni have done very well across the board. That we have students from 50 states and over 160-year history. There's value in that. But I also think there's value in the fact that you will be with a group of peers who are excellent in their academic endeavors, but also who love Jesus Christ. You are not just a student who is performing well in the classroom, but that you are a person that has great potential to serve God's kingdom. You're going to be challenged to grow in your faith because you want to be tested and you want to understand what your theological non-negotiables are. So think about the community you're going to be a part of and how they're going to engage you. We want to challenge you to think about why you believe what you believe, by people who will encourage you and motivate you. This is an investment that has strong return, not just for you in terms of career, but for you as a follower of Jesus Christ who will be called to great things. Let us work closely with your family. Let us find out more. We work with great expectation and with hope. We do not want to give up on your calling to be at Wheaton College.
Wheaton College Summer Institute is basically this 2-week event in which students from all over the world can participate. It does a very good job of integrating education, social life, and spiritual life into a very safe environment.
There's so many course offerings, from Shakespeare to music to visual arts to theology.
Each student picks a class and they really hone in on a specific subject.
And we're kind of getting a foretaste of the college experience.
So we're sleeping in the dorms and we eat in Saga. It's the full experience, but only for a 2-week period.
And they give college credit. When looking at whether or not to do this, I was like, there's no downside.
The schedule is incredible.
I've spent a lot of time in class, probably about 4 hours a day, but also a lot of time hanging out.
Then we're going for ice cream and we're going into Wheaton.
You enjoy it, you have fun, you get to meet new people.
And what I like about it a lot is that the people are so accepting. The people that will just take you as you are and won't criticize you or judge you.
The relationships I've built with people here have been really valuable.
Here, I'm always with someone, I'm always talking, I'm always having a great time, I'm always learning.
And at the same time, building that community with these people who are so different. With people from Colombia and Mexico and Texas and North Carolina. But we can all, find that kind of center of what we all believe and build relationships from that.
Wheaton College Summer Institute is a place where you will grow in your faith, meet very extraordinary people, and learn something you're passionate about.
It has the potential to be so formative that there's no way you shouldn't do it.
Someone who is insatiably curious will thrive in a Christian liberal arts environment. Being a Christian liberal arts student causes you to expect to encounter God and expect to encounter dialogue with other disciplines. I think it creates a posture of wonder, and that's just a great thing for every aspect of life. I was in Calc 1, and my professor was having us read through Romans 12 in Calc 1. And it really invited me to see God at work and to prepare my heart, even in those first few minutes of class, to recognize and say, God is here, and do I have eyes to see him? And do I have eyes to see the way that he's at work? They don't say that any discipline is off limits from God, or that God is off limits from any discipline. Wheaton really does prime you to be a very well-rounded student that's able to think about questions from many different angles, and not just provide a cookie-cutter answer, but really engage with content in a deep and meaningful and intentional way. I got one-on-one time with professors, and they not only cared about my studies, but they also cared about my spiritual well-being and about how I was doing personally. The opportunity to have professors that are spiritual mentors and have PhDs in Old Testament or quantum mechanics or poverty and international relations is amazing. And you get the opportunity to interact with so many other students of different disciplines that all love Jesus and want to love and worship him in what they do. And that's amazing too. And I love Wheaton. Wheaton invited me to dig deep into both the scientific learning I was doing and dig deep into my faith. I have grown in my ability to offer all of myself to the practice that I'm doing as an act of worship. That's what the Christian liberal arts can help form in you, is to do everything to the glory of God.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to King Arena for tonight's second half basketball action between the home and ranked number 11 in the country, Wheaton Thunder, and the visiting CCIW rival of the Thunder, the Elmhurst Blue Jays, who, despite not being ranked, play very well. Last season, the Blue Jays were one of the best teams in the country, eventually falling in the national championship game to Randolph-Macon University. The Blue Jays lost a lot of key players from their team last year, but retained a lot of talent still. We've seen some of that on display tonight, most notably in the form of Jonathan Zapinski, the Blue Jays big man. He has 11 rebounds in this game already, as well as 5 blocks, so he's been a force on the defensive end, definitely has disrupted the offensive rhythm of the Thunder, and it's kept both teams close here. The Thunder down 1 right now, 28-29, low-scoring game. The Blue Jays offense was something that Dalton and I talked about in the first half, and the Blue Jays offense is a high-scoring one, whereas the Wheaton Thunder do not give up a lot of points. One of those is going to have to give in tonight's game, and so far it looks like it's going to be that high-scoring offense of the Blue Jays as both teams are kind of gritting this one out, but we'll see what the second half has in store for us. Wheaton is going to start with the ball.
Yeah, both teams on pace to score under 60 points, so we're going to see can outduel them this second half and, you know, get another win here at home.
Eddie Scott with the ball. Tight. Now TJ Askew, excuse me, and TJ gets fouled as he releases that mid-range jumper, and that one is going to send TJ to the line. So a quick foul to start this second half.
That's good action right there by Wheaton coming out at the halftime. You know, Askew gets to his spot at the elbow, throws the shot up, gets fouled by Zapinski. That'll be Zapinski's 3rd of the game. So now he's going to enter into some foul trouble as he picked up his first foul of the half really early, 10 seconds in, and Wheaton ties the game up.
Yeah, the Thunder in the first half, especially in the opening minutes of the game, their offense just was really stagnant. They held the ball for a long time and not much developed, but so far in that first offensive set, just a lot more movement going on, a lot more aggression. That could be something we could see as an adjustment for this Thunder team in this second half, as Itunis gets a beautiful finish to fall. The defender doing everything he could to stop John Itunis from getting to the basket, but Itunis lays it in regardless. TJ Askew now with the ball. Now Eli Considine. Nice entry pass to Tyson, who gets it back out to TJ Askew, working against Zapinski. Askew looking for his teammate. He gets it to Tyson, who unloads from 3 off of a screen, and no good, but Tyson jumping for the rebound, almost able to give his team a fresh set. He fought with Zapinski for it, but the Blue Jays come away with it. Itunis again, this time blocked by TJ Askew. Sends it right back to the Thunder. Eddie Scott now with the ball, sizing up Itunis. Eddie Scott goes up. Oh, that one almost falls, but bounces out. Up ahead pass for Hornbuckle, who gets that easy layup to fall.
And Hornbuckle was not going to miss that again. He missed a wide open layup in the first half with Considine charging from behind, and this time he was able to get it to go.
33-30, the Blue Jays lead the Thunder here in King Arena. Nick Chiavello now with the ball to Eddie Scott, to TJ Askew. He's going to pull from 3, and TJ Askew is good. He's made 2 of 3 from downtown tonight, both off of nice feeds.
if Wheaton's going to win tonight, it's going to be up to Askew to make those shots because, Stupinski, we said it all in the first half, he was sagging off and not wanting to get beat off the dribble and instead trying to let the Thunder shoot from deep or from the elbow.
Great Tyson Cruikshank blocked. Hooker there. Chiavello now pushing the pace up to Eddie Scott. Back to TJ Askew. Askew goes up and is fouled by Hooker. That's going to be 2 shots at the line for TJ Askew. What a sequence there from the Wheaton Thunder.
In the second half, it's all been Askew right here. He got to the line right off the bat, made the 3, and then now is back to the line where he has 2 free throws coming up.
And that comes off of a nice defense to offense moment. Tyson Cruikshank got a nice block against Wesley Hooker. And Hooker ends up committing the foul on the other end.
The last 3 came off a block as well. Askew blocked it, then filled the lane, came to the wing on the 3-point line, kicked it out, and made the bucket.
The Thunder have made some very obvious adjustments coming out of halftime. This team, it's something we've said all season and probably will continue to say, they really show their strengths in the second half, and so far this Thunder team has been playing really lights out.
Yeah, they were a step behind in the first half, but this second half they've come out hot, gotten into a good rhythm. It's a good fast break here, and an easy finish by Andrew Williams on the fast break. Fans are loving it. Wheaton opens up a 4-point lead, 2.5 minutes into this second half. Great defense by Wheaton so far, creating a lot of turnovers, blocks, missed shots, and then capitalizing on the offensive end.
That's the biggest lead for the Thunder so far tonight. Ocean Johnson against Chiavello. That one too strong. Askew gets the rebound. Chiavello goes up. Easy layup for him. 2 easy fast break layups for the Thunder. They're now up 6.
King Arena is buzzing right now, and we saw this fast break come after a great contest by Chiavello on Ocean Johnson's shot. Went out on the fast break, and Chiavello already twice this season has been called for travels on the fast break getting the ball, but they're able to control the ball, take 2 steps, go up with a strong left hand, open up a 6-point lead in the first 3 minutes of this half, and we're seeing a lot of people running around the court right now.
Not sure what's going on there, but TJ Askew has been the difference maker to open up the first 3 minutes of this second half. In the first half, TJ struggled a little bit, going 2 of 7 from the field, totaling 5 points. Right now, he is already up to 12, so he has been active on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side. We've seen him make some really nice defensive plays, grab some really difficult rebounds, as well as make an excellent block against the Blue Jay.
I really like this lineup. It's a good defensive lineup, but they also are really strong on the offensive side too. Cruikshank is just great at creating his shots, finding the open man. Eli and Chiavello can both hit from deep, and Askew, as we've seen tonight, 50% from 3, and Andrew Williams just does everything on the court. He'll drive to the hoop and find the open guy. He'll drive to the hoop and finish around the rim, and he's just great on the defensive side on creating turnovers, creating a little more chaos for the Blue Jays, and he's already drawn a charge tonight too.
Zapinski will inbound for the Blue Jays. It's going to go to Itunis, who's chatting with Zapinski. Back to Zapinski. Tried to go for a handoff to Hooker, but instead gets it back to Itunis, defended by Andrew Williams. Back to Zapinski, who's well outside his comfort zone on the outside of the perimeter. Now to Ocean Johnson off a handoff from Zapinski. Johnson gets Constein in the air, looking to draw a foul there. Johnson kind of jumped into Constein, but that's going to be a no call from the referees. Eli Constein goes up, and that one no good, and I think there might have been a hand on that. He went up against 2 Blue Jays. He's not able to finish there. But good to see the Thunder fast break working well, and here goes Tyson Cruikshank. Speaking of the fast break.
That's really smart to pull it out there, as he knew they didn't have numbers and knew that he would be going up against Zapinski, who's a great rim protector, pulls it out and gets Wheaton into a half-court offense.
Yep, so the Thunder have a chance to set up a little bit more here. Eli Constein, we saw that play a lot against Calvin, where Tyson just basically gets the help defender to bite, gets a shooter wide open. He had Constein open there, as you saw in the replay just a moment ago, but Constein didn't go for the shot, ended up trying to drive in and was able to draw a foul there as Hooker just kind of hooked him, actually. And
yeah, Hooker closed out hard on him, and Constein was like, all right, I'm going to take a quick dribble and try to get to a spot on the elbow, but Hooker back tapped it but got more on than ball, and that'll be a foul as he'll head to the bench.
Tyson Cruikshank with it to Eli Constein. TJ Askew is going to unload from 3, and oh, that one just short off the front iron. Looks like it was looking to find its way in on a bounce, but not able to get it there. Cole Reed is at the scores table getting ready to check in for the Thunder. Ocean Johnson now with it down low. Johnson, the Blue Jays' leading scorer. He's been quiet tonight, though, so that's going to be something the Blue Jays and all of us watching are going to need to keep an eye on, because Johnson's going to probably need to get going for the Blue Jays to come away with a victory tonight, as Itunis is going to get a wide open look from 3 and drops that one in. Defensive breakdown for the Thunder. Itunis takes advantage of it. Back to a 3-point lead for the Thunder.
Looks like a little bit of a lack of communication on the rotation on who was going to switch.
Andrew Williams on the floor, but Eli Constein corrals it. TJ Askew now with it. Askew going up, and that's going to be a foul
on Askew.
Oh, it is going to be on Askew.
They're calling him for the charge there as Hornbuckle drew it. Another broken play, but as soon as Askew gave the ball there, Hornbuckle was in position to draw a charge.
Something worth noting on that possession, Askew was kind of in his normal spot, just a few feet behind the three-point line. Sapinski was playing much higher on him, so the Blue Jays adjusting, knowing that Askew can stroke it from deep. They're going to put Sapinski on him a little bit tighter and try and take away that three-point shooting element.
And now both of them will be heading to the bench, as Cole Reed is now in the game with Micah Schneiders, Crookshank Williams, and Nick Chiavello.
Itunis going to take the ball up. Now to Taylor. Tries to get to a cutting Ocean Johnson, but taken away by Nick Chiavello. Chiavello's had great hands tonight, all game. Tyson Crookshank working, gets his defender to bite, and Tyson off a nice turnaround jumper, getting Miles Thomas lost, and Tyson finishes the highlight reel play.
And once again, that comes off of a Elmhurst turnover. Chiavello getting an active hands and putting his hand in the passing lane, and Crookshank making him pay with the pump fake.
Miles Thomas was not able to get that one to finish. Good defense from Tyson Crookshank, but going to be a foul on this one.
Chiavello coming from behind.
So the Blue Jays are going to retain possession here. They're going to have a fresh shot clock off the inbound from Itunis.
Itunis is the main reason the Blue Jays are in the game. He has 17 points tonight, so he's been the scoring where Ocean Johnson and Wesley Hooker have been falling short.
I couldn't agree more, Dalton. Ocean Johnson will certainly look to get some points on the board for himself, and he tries to drive this one in, just a little too strong there. The Thunder eventually corralled the rebound, not letting Johnson do anything easily tonight. Chiavello guarded by Johnson now. Chiavello looked for Tyson there, but he's being guarded closely by Thomas. Ball poked away from Cole Reed by Reese Taylor. That ball is going to stay with the Thunder.
They'll have 12 seconds left on the shot clock. They got to look for something right now. They're playing pretty far away from the hoop, not able to get much going except on the fast break. So if Crookshank can break down his defender and find an open shooter or drive to the rim and finish himself, that should be how they'll finish out this possession.
Well, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Thunder just try to drive in and get something going down low with Sapinski being on the bench. The Blue Jays don't have nearly the rim protection that they usually have with him in the game, and Tyson's going to size up Thomas, and like you said, go for the drive, and Tyson goes up but is blocked by Reese Taylor, who was waiting for him, knew what was coming. Itunis working, he gets it to Taylor. Taylor going up now. Cole Reed got his hands all over that one, and Reed came in with a block on Taylor.
And it looks like it hit Taylor when he was out of bounds as well, so now it's going to be Wheaton ball after the block. And the bench is loving that, pumping up Cole Reed.
Yeah, nice play from the freshman out of Waco, Texas, making the most of his minutes in the place of the injured Connor Braun, and Cole Reed's going to get fouled there. Daniel Garza on the bench is loving that for his teammate.
And you never like an injury, especially for a great player like Braun, but this is really good experience for Cole Reed as a freshman to get some CCIW experience and a lot of minutes tonight, and he's proving that he's able to stay cool, calm, and collected and not get overwhelmed by it.
I was just about to note the same thing, Dalton. Reed has just been, like you said, cool, calm, and collected, hasn't let anything bother him, been playing really well so far in this one. Andrew Williams working against Itunis. Now to Tyson Crookshank working against Thomas. Cole Reed calling for the post up against Zapinski. Back to Micah Schneiders now. Driving in Schneiders, kicks it outside to Eli Constein, who's able to take it away. Constein to Cole Reed. Cole Reed no good, but fouled.
And that'll be Zapinski's fourth right there. Got him with the pump fake. Got Zapinski in the air. It's a good find by Constein, seeing Zapinski come over. And Cole Reed's going to head to the line. And John Baines is not happy with that call, saying that's the exact same thing that happened on the other end for the Blue Jays. But nonetheless, that'll be Zapinski's fourth with 13 minutes left to go in this half.
The Thunder up 5 right now. They've held Elmhurst at arm's length so far in this second half. Cole Reed with a chance to add to that lead. He gets the first one to foul after what seemed like
I think that hit the rim
7
about 20
bounces
times right there.
Reed's going to have a chance for a second here, with the student section giving him their full support. But like you said, Dalton, if you're the Blue Jays, Zapinski picking up his 4th foul, just a few away from being out of this contest, is certainly not what you want to see if you're the Blue Jays. As Cole Reed makes his second, the Thunder bench is electric. And Cole Reed, not a sign of emotion on his face, just staying locked into this one. Ocean Johnson sizing up Eli Constein. Johnson unloads, no good, that one short. Johnson just not been able to find his stroke so far tonight. Tyson pushing the pace up the court.
A lot of that has to do with Constantine defense, though, on Johnson, able to force him into a lot of fadeaways. There's a throwaway pass right there.
Constantine was looking for Tyson off of a cut, but they just weren't able to get on the same page in time. So the ball is going to go back to Elmhurst.
And Cole Reed's going to get a little rest, along with Andrew Williams. He is well received on the bench. Everyone's hyping up Cole. Some solid minutes tonight from the freshman.
This will be Matt Wallach, who we saw a little bit in the first half, going to be taking up the ball. Some reserve guard duties for him. Ocean Johnson now with it. Now finds it in the hands of Hooker. Hooker trying to get a shot to go, no good. Good defense from Eddie Scott. And that's going to go with the Thunder. Momentum sitting firmly with Wheaton right now.
And with Itunis and Zapinski on the bench, Elmhurst really needs to start finding a way to find offense and scoring without those two guys on the court. And that's when Wesley Hooker and Ocean Johnson need to step up as the leading scorers. They need to be able to find their shot. And a great cut there from Cruikshank. Great find by Considine. Wheaton opens up a 9-point lead with 12 and a half minutes left to go, and Elmhurst is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, Wheaton with their biggest lead of this one so far. And it's really been a tale of 2 halves, which has been kind of the story for this Thunder team all season. First half, just a little bit slow. The Blue Jays catching the Thunder defense on their heels quite a bit, but after a first half where the Thunder's biggest lead was 1 point, they now sit with a comfortable 9-point lead over the visiting Blue Jays with still just under 12 and a half minutes left to play in this exciting contest.
And last year, if this same thing happened where they were shooting poorly in the first half, they weren't able to really dig their heels in and play solid defense to keep it, in a good contest, and they would have been down by 10 at half usually last year. But this year, this team is just so strong defensively. I think that's something Coach Schauer is definitely trying to emphasize, especially this season. And Wheaton only being down 1 at half, keeping Elmhurst, to bad shot selections and forcing them into, tough buckets. They've been really able to open up a good lead here just from the defense that they've been having.
The Thunder have Eddie Scott, Nick Chiavello, Tyson Cruikshank, Micah Schneiders, and Eli Constein on the floor. So running with a little bit smaller lineup. We're going to see if Jonathan Sapinski finds his way back on the floor for the Blue Jays, or if they're going to keep him off for a while.
I don't think he'll come in unless they get down big, and then they're going to have to start searching for something. But if Elmhurst will keep it within 10 for the next about 6 minutes, I could see him coming in around the 5-minute mark and just playing really conservatively. And TJ Askew has 3 fouls of his own, so he'll be resting for a little bit. He'll probably come in around the 10-minute mark or under that.
Pearson with it, pulls from 3 against Schneiders and gets that one to fall. Big 3-pointer for the Blue Jays to cut into that Thunder lead, which now stands at 6. Nick Chiavello with the ball off the pass from Eddie Scott. Back to Eddie Scott to Tyson Cruikshank. We got a foul here.
Off-ball foul. Schneiders got pushed in the back as he was cutting through the paint. You see it on the replay here. Yeah, on the backdoor cut. Gets pushed just a little bit right there.
That's another thing to keep an eye on. We've got over half of this second half left to play, and Elmhurst already has 6 fouls in this one, so the Thunder are going to find themselves in the bonus if this pace continues very soon.
And that's what happened in the Calvin game, too. Wheaton was able to get back into the game by going to the line and being in the 1-and-1 and in the double bonus. In this game, they can extend the lead, too.
I think that's going to become a story in this one. If it isn't already, Chevello handoff, Scott, three-pointer. That's good from Eddie Scott off of the easy feed from Chevello. Eddie Scott mean-mugging the defense. No expression after that ice-cold three from Eddie Scott.
He made a big three at the buzzer to in the first half and get Wheaton down 1, and there he just cashes in from the corner.
Matt Wallach working against Tyson Cruikshank. Now to Ocean Johnson working against Chevello. Matt Wallach again with it against Cruikshank. Tries to get it down low.
This is just great swarming defense by the Thunder. Chevello and Constantine have been all over Ocean Johnson, just completely removing him from the game and making someone else beat him. And Itunis has been doing that, but without him on the floor, they just are searching for somebody.
Yeah, someone's going to need to really start stepping up in the scoring column for this Blue Jays team to keep them in the game. And Wallach not able to get that one to fall. Shot clock violation right after he got the shot up. He got his own board, but ended up getting fouled. So was able to avoid the shot clock violation by about a quarter of a second. Ends up getting fouled on the way up, so he's going to have a chance for 2 at the line here. And in front of him, behind the basket, is the football team, which is going to do everything they can to distract him. And Wallach, makes it off of a few bounces on pretty much every part of the rim.
You see Askew check in now for Considine, who's been working really hard on the defensive side, and now Askew's going to have to play carefully with 3 fouls and 11 minutes left to go in this half.
Wallach misses the second, so 1 for 2 at the line for him. Eddie Scott motioning for a screen from TJ Askew. Askew trying to support him. Now to TJ Askew. He is working against Malachi. Now Tyson Cruikshank driving in. Tyson almost able to get that one to fall, but Nick Chevello is there with the offensive rebound, and Daniel Garza stands up on the Wheaton bench, flexing, showing that strength that Nick Chevello just showed us. Ocean Johnson now with it. The Blue Jays need to answer here. 10-point lead now for the Thunder, their largest of the game.
Good defense by Chevello there, off ball on Ocean Johnson as
wow. Pearson has a flamethrower on him. He's hit 2 threes in this second half after just a quick jab step.
That was deep and contested.
Maybe Pearson will be the offensive answer that the Blue Jays need as Tyson Cruikshank goes in, gets all the defense on their heels, and finds the bottom of the net with a nice floater.
That's good awareness to feel his defender on his hip and then slide in front of him and use the positioning they had to float it up over the Elmhurst players and make it a little floater.
Itunis almost lost it there. Now back to Pearson, who's made 2 threes in this half. Pearson working against the smaller Andrew Williams, and Pearson not able to get the mid-range to fall, but Jaden Malachi puts it up, and he's going to get fouled.
Hopefully it's on Askew. Looks like it's going to be on Askew.
Yeah, so TJ's going to come out here. Yeah, TJ came over his back. Malachi's going to go to the line for 2. I think if Askew spends even more time on the bench, now that he's in this foul trouble, I think we might see Cole Reed get some more minutes here in the second half, and he deserves them after how he's played, which is very well so far in this one. But for now, Eli Constantine's going to sub in for TJ.
And Constantine and Chevello will be the main forwards for Wheaton in the post, which I like because they can stretch the floor well. They can attack the hoop off the dribble and beat their defender. And they're just great defenders too. They can play defense on guys that are much bigger than them just on their positioning and their strength and athleticism.
So Jaden Malachi makes both free throws off the foul, cutting into that Wheaton lead, which is now out of double digits and back at 7. Tyson sizing up Wesley Hooker. Hornbuckle guarding Chevello, and meanwhile Andrew Williams, coming off of a screen, is dropped to the floor after some contact with Pearson. So Williams fouled, yet another foul for the Blue Jays. But they're going to need to hope to slow down in the fouling department to try and keep themselves in this game. And Andrew Williams is going to go to the line for his first 1-and-1 opportunity of the game and the first 1-and-1 opportunity of the second half for the Thunder. He misses that, so no second opportunity for him, but just over halfway done with the second half of this one, and the Thunder are already in the bonus, which is going to change the way the Blue Jays play this one as Pearson goes up and gets the contested layup to fall against Andrew Williams, who took some contact to the face. Strong finish from Pearson.
Pearson is showing that he can score too, with 12 points in this game so far. He's been the main reason that Elmhurst has been able to stay in the game so far this second half by hitting 2 big threes and now getting a chance for a 3-point play at the line.
Yeah, Tegan Pearson's been the guy this second half.
We're going to mop up where Williams fell just to get all the sweat away so people don't slip below the hoop.
This will be Tegan Pearson at the line. Pearson makes the and one, so that'll be 3 points on the board the hard way for Tegan Pearson. Thunder lead now just 4 up on the Blue Jays. Schneider's had an open Tyson Cruikshank, but just held onto the ball just a little too long. Tyson Cruikshank now with the ball in his hands. Now Chevello to Micah Schneider's again. Schneider's looking, gets it to Nick Chevello, guarded by Hornbuckle. Handoff Tyson Cruikshank, 3-pointer, no good, off the front iron. Rebound Ocean Johnson. They're gonna have the Blue Jays are gonna have a chance to cut this lead down even more. Hornbuckle working against Considine underneath the basket. Hornbuckle working. Eli Considine took an elbow to the face there. John Itunis drops in the nice floater. Eli Considine is grimacing. He got hit in the eye. He's going to need to come out, I think, in a moment.
I think he'll be fine. Just needs to get a little readjusted.
Considine gets it to Chevello, to Eddie Scott. Back to Eli Considine. To Eddie Scott. Shot clock under 10 now. Nick Chevello now with it. Sizing up Hornbuckle, driving in. Chevello gets that one to fall. Big bucket for the Thunder. They needed something on the offensive end, and Chevello delivers. Andrew Williams getting ready to check in for the Thunder. Elmhurst keeping themselves in the game. The Blue Jays about to make a big substitution. Jonathan Zapinski is about to come in for the Blue Jays.
We get a timeout now from Elmhurst. Coach Baines did not like what he saw out on the court, and we'll get some substitutions on both ends for Wheaton and for Elmhurst. 4-point game with 7.5 minutes left to go. Last year, every game with Elmhurst was highly contested, really close games, and this year it's proving to be the same exact trend. 11th ranked Wheaton College against Elmhurst, who was ranked earlier in the season, dropped a couple games in CCIW play. Now we're 6-2 on the year, and if they get a win here, they'll probably be ranked as well. But Wheaton needs to keep this winning streak going, as they've been playing really well over the past few weeks. 7-1 right now, 1-0 in conference play. Just great offense and defense from Wheaton the second half, proving that they're a really good defensive team, and that defense leads to really good offense.
Yeah, Wheaton's one loss of the season coming to the now ranked John Carroll University, who they fell to in the championship game of the League Fund Tournament, which is hosted by Wheaton here at King Arena. But like you said, the Thunder are going to hope to come away from tonight's battle with a victory. That would put them up to 8-1 on the season.
You see Williams and Reed check in for Chevello and Snyders. And Zapinski, we saw at the scorer's table before the timeout was called. We'll see if he comes out there.
And he will. Zapinski, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 blocks on the night. The only caveat to that, he now has 4 fouls, so he's going to be able to play with as much physicality below the rim as he might like to. But when he was on the floor, he was has just been a defensive force. Ocean Johnson now with it to Pearson, to Hooker, into Zapinski. Zapinski working here, looking around the floor. He's going to look for Itunis there for a second. Hooker gets it to fall.
And they'll call a foul on Cruikshank there, give him the N1. Just able to get the shot off before the shot clock sound. You can see the shot clock above the hoop right there at 2-1. Might have still been on his fingers there, but without a replay and challenge there, you can't really change the call on the floor. But nonetheless, he was able to get the shot off before the buzzer sound, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
The football team going to hope to distract him. Hooker misses, so just 2 for him. 2-point lead now for the Thunder. They've lost a little bit of that offensive momentum that they started the second half with.
They got to attack Zapinski. They got to just have Cruikshank or Constantine drive to the hoop and hope Zapinski fouls them and get him out of the game.
Yep, Eddie Scott now with the ball. Now to Cole Reed. Back to Eddie Scott.
Drive on him.
Eddie Scott working against Zapinski. Eddie Scott shot no good. Cole Reed gets the rebound. Reed goes up for it, no good. Good rebound there though by Reed. Good to see that kind of strong play from the freshman as Itunis works around the defense, hangs in the air and gets that one to fall. Tie game here in King Arena. The Blue Jays come roaring back after being down 10.
Chevello and Askew are both going to come in. We'll probably see a starting lineup out on the court. Something Wheaton needs to get out there and get some more scoring chances and the starting lineup back out.
Yeah, we're getting to that point in the game. We've got just under 6.5 minutes left to play here in King Arena. The Thunder have started getting some fouls too. They've got 6 as Andrew Williams is not able to get that layup fall against Zapinski. Itunis, that one's no good. Rebound, Considine. Empty possession for the Blue Jays.
Smart by Williams there to slow it down and get Wheaton set on the offensive side.
Cole Reed now on the outside, guarded closely by Zapinski. Now to Tyson Cruikshank, who gets Zapinski switched onto him. Now back Hooker on him. Cruikshank tried to get it to Andrew Williams, but Williams just did not anticipate the cut that Tyson was looking for him to make. Yeah,
there was a small window right there and just threw it a little bit to Williams' left. We're seeing Scott and Reed now sit down as Chevello and Askew will check in. Chevello has 2 fouls and Askew has 4 of his own, so we'll definitely try to see Askew play a little bit more conservatively. I assume the Blue Jays will try to target him as Wheaton is going to target Zapinski and try to get both of those guys out of the game.
So this is Hooker now working. He has a nice feed to Zapinski, but Zapinski just can't bring it in. Another empty possession for the Blue Jays. And the Thunder have got to start taking advantage of that. Andrew Williams now taking the ball up for the Thunder. Tyson Cruikshank now with the ball. TJ Askew with it, going against Zapinski. And that's a good decision there by Askew to go up against the guy who has a lot of fouls, but he just wasn't able to get the finish against Zapinski, who is such a talented interior defender. Hooker now with the ball for the Blue Jays. Now to Zapinski. Zapinski skip pass all the way to the other corner to Ocean Johnson. Thought about shooting it for a second. Hooker now working against Tyson Cruikshank. Hooker can't get that one to fall. Battle for the rebound. Hooker picks it up and gets it to fall. Second chance opportunity.
And Wheaton's calling for a timeout right now.
Yeah, Hooker contorted his body to get that in. Eli Considine, there's going to be a timeout before Eli was able to get that going. So
that's always so hard to see when you're calling for a timeout before you inbound the ball. The ref doesn't notice it, and then you get on a little fast break off the inbounds play and get a layup to go, but they're going to call a timeout instead. It'll be a 30-second timeout for Wheaton, down 2, just under 5 minutes left to go. We're seeing Hooker step up and make some plays towards the end of the game to keep Elmhurst in this game and give them a lead right there, but Wheaton just needs to find an answer on the offensive side. A few empty possessions, not the best looks right now. If they can attack the paint as they have been all game and finding the open shooters, I'd like to feed Askew. He's been playing so well tonight. If you can find him and if he can bang home a 3, or if Cruikshank can get to the rim and get the defender in the air and go to the line, that would be key.
Yeah, but as it stands, we're looking at another exciting finish after the last game played in King Arena, which is the thrilling victory the Thunder had last weekend against their ranked opponent in Calvin University. The Thunder going up against another strong foe tonight here in the Blue Jays, who hold a 2-point lead here. Their first lead of the half. Nice find. Oh, Andrew Williams found Tyson Cruikshank, but Tyson was unable to finish against good defense from the Blue Jays. Hooker with it to Pearson.
Tyson was a little frustrated there, but Askew saying, hey, you're good. Just step up when we need you. Like, you're fine. Just keep the energy up.
Tyson guarding Itunis. Not a Pearson. Pearson's been hot from 3. That one no good. Too long. Rebound Chiavello. Tyson pushing the pace to Askew. Askew gets Hooker to bite, and Askew gets an open look at the rim and drops it in. Tie game Thunder off the TJ Askew layup.
It's a great find by Cruikshank, keeping his eyes up, seeing Askew in the corner, Askew driving and able to throw up a pump fake and not drag that pivot foot, keep his feet on the ground and go up strong and have an easy finish at the rim.
I thought Askew was going to go for the dunk there for a second. Ocean Johnson drops in a three-pointer, and what better time for Ocean Johnson to start heating up offensively for the Blue Jays than now.
Yeah, we see the two Blue Jay scorers, leading scorers, come alive in these last few minutes. 5 points from both of them. Considine's going to post up Ocean Johnson.
Ocean Johnson tried to draw a foul. Considine working Askew. Oh, lots of battling for the ball, and
that'll stay.
It's going to stay with the Thunder.
And they're calling for a flop now.
Yeah.
They're calling a flop on Ocean Johnson. That'll be registered as a technical, and Wheaton will take a technical free throw, I believe. On the bump from Considine, Ocean Johnson just hit the floor. And then a scramble for a shot at the rim. Cruikshank's going to take the shot here. And then it'll still be Wheaton ball underneath with 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, so a nice turn of events for the Thunder there for a chance to tie the game here. Tyson can do something with these technical free throw, and if the Thunder can manage to score. Tyson drops in the first one, making it look easy. The Thunder now regroup. We'll have a chance for an offensive possession here, like we've said. Full shot clock for them.
On this, we usually see them try to throw it out to the top and then have Tyson come off of a screen from Considine or a double screen from Williams and Chiavello, but we'll see what they draw up here.
Yeah, we've seen that inbound play a few times so far this season, and it's worked generally pretty well. Tyson Cruikshank, and he made the 3, but
off-ball foul beforehand on, I believe that was Miles Thomas.
Yeah, and it's going to be against, the foul was committed against Tyson, so he's going to have a chance at the line. Again, the Thunder in the bonus, so the Thunder, if they can take advantage of the position that the Blue Jays are in as far as fouls go, can start to build that lead back up and put this one away. Tyson Cruikshank at the line. Tyson makes the first, so he'll get a second opportunity here.
This will be his 8th and 9th free throw of the night. He's missed one so far, made every other one, and has a chance to tie up the game right here. Just like that, buries it.
Yeah, now, Tyson Cruikshank, 17 points on the night. He's 4 of 15 from the field, but 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Excuse me, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Pearson with it to Hooker, to Itunis, to Ocean Johnson. Ball not sticking much here for the Blue Jays. Now to Itunis. Itunis working against Andrew Williams, who drops underneath the screen. Itunis trying to make something happen. Itunis not able to get it to happen. TJ Askew comes flying in out of nowhere and tries to collect the rebound. Look at Askew making the effort there, but came across the top of Zapinski and
stay Blue Jays ball. I was a little nervous that Askew might have been almost picking up his 5th foul there, but he was smart enough to not hit the body at all and instead just go for the ball.
Nice hustle play there, though, from Askew. And we're going to have more conversation here going on between the refs and the Blue Jays.
The Hooker and Cruikshank matchup, as Hooker's trying to get position and Cruikshank's fighting for his spot as well.
Into Zapinski, who's matched up against Eli Considine. Eli's done a great job against bigger guys, and Ocean Johnson not able to get it to fall. TJ Askew, strong rebound against numbers.
That's a man's board right there.
I couldn't agree more. TJ Askew now with it to Nick Chiavello. Andrew Williams now sizing up Pearson. Williams handoff Askew. Askew looking, gets to Eli Considine. Constantine back to Askew. Askew's going to size up Zapinski and drop in.
That's a big bucket right there.
The mid-range jumper.
Transfer TJ Askew from Claremont Mud Scripps. Gets it to go over the outstretched arm of Zapinski, who's just a great defender, but that's just so much better offense right there.
Yeah, TJ Askew, what a performance in the second half from him. Zapinski trying to get it to a teammate. He gets it to Pearson, who's sizing up against Askew. I like this matchup for the Thunder. Hooker now against Tyson. Hooker going in. He gets space, but oh, wow, what a finish from Wesley Hooker.
That is such an athletic finish right there. Able to beat Crookshank through the baseline, finish acrobatically around the rim with his left hand.
Hooker's got springs in his legs. When he jumps up, he just hangs in the air. Is able to do a lot with that offensively because of that bounce he has. And Tyson almost gets the ball picked away by Hooker. Tyson loses it. Oh, and it's John Itunis. He's going to go up. Easy layup for Itunis.
We get a timeout from Wheaton. Elmhurst leads 63-61. Just under a minute and a half left to go in this contest. See Crookshank dribbled off with his foot there. Chevello dove for the ball. Itunis just picks it up. Routine layup line finish for Itunis to get the Blue Jays up 2 with a minute and a half left to go. Itunis now with 23 points in this game, leads all scorers. Crookshank next with 17, and then Askew with 16 of his own. Wow, that's some good offense from Itunis tonight. A guy who only averages 12 points on the year. He's almost doubled that, showing that even if Ocean Johnson and Wesley Hooker can't get themselves going tonight, he can step up and make big shots when needed.
Yeah, Itunis has done everything that the Blue Jays could ask tonight and more.
He was big in the first half, reason they were in the game. Played well to start the second half, went out, and then we saw that it was Pearson stepping up and making big threes, and then Hooker and Ocean Johnson finally got involved for a little bit, and then Itunis can get that layup to go right there on the fast break turnover from Wheaton. But on the Wheaton side, Askew and Crookshank have been just great tonight. Crookshank not shooting the best from the field or the three-point line, but able to get it to go from the free throw line, 8 of 9 from the stripe. Askew shooting really well from mid-range. He has 16 points himself, 5 rebounds and 4 assists, but he's playing with 4 fouls. In this last minute and a half, though, you got to play with it all out on the court and just fight hard. And even if you pick up that 5th foul, you got to fight for it too and not play tentative here.
Yeah, with this little time left on the clock, Dalton, you're exactly right. You've got to just play knowing that it's worth the risk of potentially picking up a 5th foul to try and make a game-changing play. Tyson being guarded high by Hooker. TJ Askew working against Jonathan Zapinski. Considine now with it. Andrew Williams going up against Ocean Johnson, and that shot is short. And that's going to go to the Blue Jays.
Wheaton can play this out, though. There's still 1 minute left to go, 30 seconds on the shot clock, as Eddie Scott's going to be checking in, I think, for some more offense, as Williams is there for the defense and offense. We'll see a press now from the Thunder. A little bit of a soft press just to take some time off the shot clock and force them into a quicker possession.
King Arena erupting with sound right now as the Thunder fans hope to inspire their defense. Ocean Johnson with it to Pearson, to Wesley Hooker, to Zapinski, back to Hooker, who's guarded by Eli Constantine. Hooker works around his defender, trying to draw a foul. Hooker doesn't get it to go. Rebound, Nick Chevello. Big rebound for the Thunder. Tyson Crookshank slowing things down. Nick Chevello now with it. The Thunder can tie the game with a 2-point basket. TJ Askew going in, working around Zapinski. Handoff to Eli Constantine, who goes up and collects his own rebound. Eddie Scott, three-pointer. Good! Eddie Scott! Ice-cold bucket from the senior guard, and King Arena.
And Crookshank slaps him on the chest and saying, "You are a dog." That is a big shot from Eddie Scott. Fans are going crazy. It was Crookshank last week against Calvin hitting the game-winning 3. Eddie Scott making a huge 3 right there. You saw him bury one at the end of the half, bury one in the middle of the second half, and then just cashing in when needed on a broken play. The ball was going everywhere. Everyone was fighting for it. Considine dribbled it out, found a wide open Eddie Scott, and on a contested 3, buried it. goodness.
Whatever Tyson Cruikshank was eating last weekend, I think is what Eddie Scott has been eating this weekend, because that was quite the shot, like you said, Dalton. We still got plenty of time left in this one. 15.4 seconds. The Elmhurst Blue Jays are going to have the ball. They've got enough time to get something to happen, and they just need a basket. It doesn't matter whether it's a 2 or a 3, being down only 1. Thunder are in a good position, though, with only 6 fouls here. The crowd erupting once again, coming out of the timeout.
The only issue is the Thunder don't have any fouls to give, so if they can't foul off ball.
Nope.
They reset the game clock to 15.4 there, but Wheaton has no fouls to give, so if they foul off ball, it's going to send them to the line for a 1-and-1. The Blue Jays will go to the line, but same way, if Wheaton gets fouled, they'll go to the line as well. So Wheaton just needs to dig their heels in, play some solid defense, force them into a tough shot or an errant pass and a turnover, but they just cannot afford any fouls right now, obviously.
The Blue Jays are going to have the full court to go. Zapinski is going to inbound. They're going to let the ball roll to preserve as much of the clock. Itunis is going to pick it up. He's going to be guarded by Eddie Scott. Scott going against Itunis, who's driving in. Itunis doesn't get it to fall. Rebound, TJ Askew. It's pushed out by Eddie Scott, and Askew is fouled. 5.3 seconds left on the clock. Askew is going to go to the line after the foul committed against him after he collected the rebound off of the miss from John Itunis.
Holy cow. That hung on the rim for way too long. My heart sunk a little bit, but seeing Askew come down with a big rebound there, get fouled, 5.3 seconds left on the game clock. Askew has a chance here. It's still 1-and-1 as they're still just in the single bonus with 9 fouls on the Elmhurst Blue Jays.
Askew is 4 for 4 from the line tonight. I sure hope I don't induce
Josh.
the announcer's curse on him by saying that. But we'll see here. And he makes the first.
Josh.
The announcer's curse isn't real, Dalton.
And you shouldn't have said that either. It's still a 2-point game. Josh, you gotta not talk during those free throws. King Arena's silent now. All the hands are up.
And TJ makes the second. What did I say?
3-point game. 5 seconds left to go. Elmhurst is going to need to look for a 3, or if they can get a layup with 1 second and then foul again, but I'm assuming they're not going to want to try that instead. Drop a play for a 3. What an ending to this game so far. Not over yet. So they just got to work hard on this defensive side, not give up any 3s. They're okay to give up a 2 because they can get fouled, send them to the line, and Wheaton can ice the game there. Oh my goodness.
The Blue Jays have one more chance here.
The number 11 Wheaton Thunder are making our hearts beat a lot faster in these games against Calvin and now against Elmhurst. It's been some exciting basketball the past 2 weeks in King Arena. Wheaton's going to head down to Bloomington to play Illinois Wesleyan next Saturday before winter break commences, and the students will head home, but Wheaton Thunder will stay here and then head out to New Jersey for a tournament at Stevens Institute of Technology. And that will be their tournament over winter break before they come back to King Arena for some more conference action.
In the game of basketball, 5.3 seconds is plenty of time for something to happen, but if you're the Thunder, you could find yourself in a much worse position. They're up 3. So like you said, Dalton can afford to give up a 2.
We should see a little bit pressure on the ball here as we see Constantine that we don't want them to roll it up or else they can save time off the clock, so they want to inbound it and immediately start to dribble. So we see here from Itunis dribbling up the ball.
Itunis for 3. Oh, he banks it in.
Cow.
What a shot by John Itunis, banking the 3-pointer in.
Oh my goodness.
Off of the left corner of the square.
Holy, what is with Elmhurst and these?
Take a look at this, Dalton. Look at this shot
Eddie
over
Scott
the
was all
outstretched hand
over
of
him.
Eddie and drops it in off of the corner.
Itunis has been so good all night and bails out Elmhurst once again. Oh my, banks in a 3 to tie up the game with 0.4 seconds left. I wonder if they're going to add some more time to the clock. We're seeing the refs look at the scores table right now. They're probably going to tell the coaches if they're going to reset the game clock to add any more time. But with 0.4 seconds left, all they can do is just heave it. There's nothing else. No chance they have to get off a good shot. But this
has been John Itunis' night. When they have needed him, he has been there. He missed that key layup where if you're a Thunder fan, you probably looked at that and said, oh, great, the game's over now. TJ got the rebound. Itunis calls his number again. 0.8 seconds left.
0.8 seconds now, so Wheaton can maybe take a good look at a shot from half court.
As good of a look as you can hope to get with less than a second left on the clock.
And Coach Baines is telling them to get back, don't foul.
Nick Chiavello, big pass to Ocean Johnson. And
we got some extra basketball here. We'll be heading to overtime. This is quite the finish to the regulation. John Itunis, 26 points on the night. The biggest 3 of those points coming with 1 second left to go in the game.
Wow.
Banking it in from the wing on a really good contest from Eddie Scott. After Eddie Scott made a huge 3, Itunis is like, I can make one too, and bangs it in right in Scott's face. And this, I told you, Josh, I mean, every single game against Elmhurst is good. I mean, last year at Elmhurst, Jake Rohde, the star All-American point guard from Elmhurst last year, he made a buzzer beater to beat Wheaton. And then here in King Arena, basically from a few steps back from where Itunis hit that, back-rimmed a 3 to win that game as well. So these games are always good, and CCIW has just some great competition. All the games are always really close and great contests, and this is no exception to that.
So we're going to get a 5-minute period of overtime here, folks. If I remember correctly, fouls do stay, so nothing is getting wiped off. That means that Jonathan Zapinski,
he's fouled out, so
for
he's
the Blue
not
Jays
in the game anymore, actually.
So his 5 fouls aren't going anywhere. That's going to be a big factor. But we've got another 5 minutes of what's sure to be exciting basketball here for both teams. Eli Constein will go against Ocean Johnson here for the tip. Ocean Johnson wins the tip. It goes to Itunis, who, like we said, has earned his flowers tonight. He has just been absolutely spectacular. Itunis with it against Eddie Scott. Now to Pearson, to Ocean Johnson.
Good hands there from Cruikshank. Poked the ball away on the backdoor cut.
And Nick Chiavello with a backdoor cut of his own and found.
That's a great fast break right there. So well run. Elmhurst had no clue who was guarding who. And Chiavello just snuck backdoor and finished at the rim. And we see Wesley Hooker coming in for some defense for the Blue Jays.
We see that play between Cruikshank and Chiavello about 3 or 4 times a game, and I don't think I've ever seen it not work.
Yeah, there's always that backdoor cut open. I see the Thunder do it. You said it. You see the Thunder do it all the time, and it always works. Wow, that's a tough finish right there from number 13, Matt Wallach.
Yeah, Wallach going to be getting his number called a little bit here. Having to be in the lineup with Zapinski on the bench. Eddie Scott now with it. Now to TJ Askew, who's been the star for the Thunder this game. He's working against Hornbuckle. Handoff to Tyson Cruikshank, and Askew tangled up there. Tyson off of the gather step, hits on a deep 3-pointer straight on. What a 3-point shot from Tyson Cruikshank. Daniel Garza dancing on the bench.
And that gets Cruikshank to 20 points on the night. Askew with 18 of his own, but the biggest shot of this overtime so far, and that's going to be the 5th foul on Askew on a 3-point shooter right there. I think he jumped into, you see the 3 here from Cruikshank from the top of the key, buries it. Now Askew's going to head to the bench with 5 fouls.
That could change a lot of momentum in this one with Askew going to the bench.
And normally you would see Connor Braun coming in this scenario, but we're going to see Andrew Williams come in now. So Wheaton's going to be undersized, but I really like this lineup. They're super athletic and can defend people who are bigger than them.
Yep.
But we're going to get 3 free throws here for the Blue Jays.
Considine is one of the best defenders on this Wheaton team, and I would argue that he's one of the better defenders just for his size and ability. We saw him just give Jalen Overway trouble last week. Overway, a standout freshman for Calvin University, who's much bigger.
Yeah, as much trouble as you can give a 6'9" center who still had like 20-something points.
Yeah.
But
so Considine is going to be drawing some of the bigger defensive assignments. Pearson hits on his first two. He's going to get a chance to tie the game up here with a third make. And he does. Pearson's been the other guy keeping the Blue Jays in this one besides John Itunis. Pearson really turned it up in the second half, but there's still a lot left to be played here, and that pass from Constein picked off by Wesley Hooker, who's taking his time. John Itunis thought about shooting it for a second there, working against Eddie Scott. Itunis, wow, what a finish from Itunis. Just kissing it off the backboard, dropping it in. 2-point lead for the Blue Jays. 2 minutes played already in this overtime period. Andrew Williams, hand off to Tyson Cruikshank against Hooker. Tyson working.
Hooker's a really good defender, so he's not giving Cruikshank anything right now as he picks up his dribble.
He isn't. Eli Constein, now to Eddie Scott. 5 on the shot clock. Eddie Scott is going to have to put up a shot. Scott going in. Shot clock expiring.
Didn't hit anything, so that's going to be a shot clock violation on the Thunder. Turnover for them as they're down 2. 2.5 minutes left to go. Scott was trying to bail them out once again. Unable to get to touch the rim, so that'll be a shot clock violation.
Well, Elmhurst defense knew it was coming. Scott kind of gathered himself and went in for a drive, and there were a few Blue Jays waiting for him down near the basket. Hooker to Hornbuckle, looking for a teammate. Now Itunis for 3. Oh, no good, off the back iron. Itunis not able to get what would have been a big shot. Blue Jays holding on to a 2-point lead. Andrew Williams working against Pearson. Strong defense on the Blue Jays. Williams on the floor.
On Pearson there.
Yeah, Williams just got tangled up there. Pearson just kind of pushing his body against him. Pearson saying that he had his hands up, which he did, but he just threw too much body into Williams. So Williams is going to go to the line here for an opportunity for some free points for the Thunder. Going to hopefully tie this game up for Wheaton.
Pearson was all over him, and Andrew Williams was able to get him on his hip and feel a little bump and hit the ground there, and he'll go to the line to tie the game up. Pearson looked for some explanations there from the refs a couple times, but just said, all right, I understand, and now waiting to see what Williams will do.
Andrew Williams misses the first, but he's going to get a chance for a second. We're past the 1-and-1 period here, so regardless of whether any Thunder player makes the first free throw off of the bonus, they're going to get a chance for a second. And Williams makes the second, so little adjustment to his shot after the first and makes the second. The Thunder now down 1 here at home against the Blue Jays. Less than 2 minutes left here in the overtime period. Pearson with it to Hooker. Hornbuckle now. Hornbuckle working against Eli Constein. Hornbuckle calling his own number. No good, too strong off the glass, but Pearson offensive rebound and puts it up. The Thunder just not there for the rebound. 3-point lead now for the Blue Jays. Eddie Scott taking the ball, pushing the pace a little bit for the Thunder.
This is when you got to give the ball to your captain, the leader of the team, and let him
Yep, and it's going to go in the hands of Tyson, who's working against Hooker. And oh my goodness! Eddie Scott is on another planet tonight.
Holy
Another
cow.
big three.
That's the exact same spot.
Senior Eddie Scott.
That's the same spot he hit it at the end of regulation, and he buries it again. He's like, I'm feeling it. I'm going to stroke it from deep. I don't care if there's a hand in my face. I'm going to hit nothing but net.
Eddie Scott has hit 4 3-pointers tonight. Those are his only baskets of the night, and every single one has been huge. He hit his first at the halftime buzzer. He hit his second near the middle of the second half. His third just a few minutes ago to tie it up and eventually take the lead, but before overtime, and now to tie the game back up at 75. He's been the guy tonight.
Yeah, and Scott's usually not one to look for a lot of threes. He likes to slash into the lane and finish at the rim. So he's only shooting 33% on the year, so not terrible, but not great either. So he's feeling really, if he's pulling from deep, you know he's feeling confident and knows he's going to bury it. He showed that he's going to bury that one there.
Well, and his three-point percentage is nothing to scoff at. He's shooting 4 for 6 from the field tonight, which is absolutely outstanding.
Wow. We have 4 Wheaton players in double digits. Chevello and Scott with 12. Askew, who fouled out, had 18. Cruikshank with 20 of his own. And then 3 Blue Jays in double figures as well. Tunis with 28, Hooker with 10, and Pearson with 18. After Pearson made a big bucket on their offensive possession, Eddie Scott came down and buried his.
One minute and 18 seconds left in this competition between the Blue Jays and the Thunder. Tied at 75. Itunis with it against the smaller Cruikshank. Itunis driving in. Itunis drops in. He has been absolutely unconscious tonight. Itunis now at 30.
That's been their offense. They set a ball screen for Itunis, let him get his defender on his hip, and he'll either drive and go to the rim and finish with an outstretched arm. Cruikshank from deep.
No good. That one's too long and to the left. Hooker was able to collect the rebound.
No need to foul here, as Askew was screaming for Eddie to stay away.
Just over 30 seconds left in this one. The Blue Jays going to try and take as much time off the clock as they can. The shot clock is going to bring it down to about 20 on the game clock. And Itunis finds a wide open Hooker down low. Defensive breakdown from the Thunder. Hooker getting in the face of Cruikshank.
And now he's celebrating with some fans. Just a lack of awareness on where Hooker was as he makes a big shot there to extend this lead to 4. All eyes are on Itunis, which granted they should be with him having 30 points and making a lot of key shots, but everyone was just watching the ball, and Hooker slipped behind and was wide open at the block and finished at the rim. And with 19 seconds left to go, Wheaton's going to need to get a quick bucket here and start fouling, playing the foul game.
Yeah, I think we're going to see, if I'm the Thunder, I'm thinking that we're going to see a three-point play designed for Tyson, maybe for Eddie, but
yeah, the first look would be a wide open 3, but you got to look for a quick 2 also, because then if you get a quick 2, you can get a miss at the free throw line. Then if they make it, then it's a one-possession game and a 3-point game at that. But with it being 1-1, I think they might look for a layup first, because if they miss the first, then it's only a 2-point game and they can win with the 3. So we'll see what Wheaton goes for here, as we saw Cruikshank pull up from deep on the last possession, which was a brave and courageous shot right there to give Wheaton the lead, but unable to connect. And we're seeing Hooker put some pressure on Cruikshank in the backcourt here.
Chevello's going to inbound. We have 19.7 seconds left in this one. Tyson pushing the pace, calling for his teammates.
They gotta get going.
Eddie Scott. Yeah, they got to get a shot up here. Eddie Scott for 3. Oh, almost got that to fall. Rebound, Chevello.
Jump ball. It's going to stay Wheaton
tied
ball.
up with Hornbuckle, and wow, we have bodies all over the floor.
Wheaton ball. Jump ball, possession arrow in favor of Wheaton. 7 seconds left to go. They're going to have to get a quick bucket and hope for a miss at the free throw line. Almost another 3-pointer from Eddie Scott. Hit the front rim, went off the backboard, and then hit the rim again.
Good hustle play from Nick Chevello to keep the Thunder's hopes alive here. Well, 7.4 seconds. They need pretty much everything to go their way.
Yeah.
Thunder down 4 right now. Tyson's going to inbound it. Tyson inbound, Eli Considine. Considine needs to put up a shot. Oh, that shot is well short. Holds onto it, gets poked away, and it's going to stay with Wheaton.
Yeah,
so
1 second left though. You get a 3, there'll be about 0.3 seconds left, and then they'll foul and they'll miss the free throw. So Wheaton will most likely drop a game here in King Arena unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, they would need pretty much an immediate 3-pointer here. Eddie Scott, 3-pointer. Oh, that one's short, and that's the game, folks. So Dalton's going to take us to his post-game interview with Coach Mike Schauer, but the Thunder lose a competitive game here against the visiting Elmhurst Blue Jays. The number 11 Thunder likely going to see a change in their ranking in the D3 Hoops National Poll, but a great game from both teams. Ends in overtime. The Thunder falling 75-79 against the Blue Jays. Folks, thank you for joining us. We're going to hear from Dalton and Coach Mike Shower in just a moment here. And we'll see you guys back here after winter break with more basketball here at King Arena.
I'm on the floor here with Coach Shower. Coach Shower, what are your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, brutal loss. Let me start with owning my part of it. We probably should have fouled. We debated it, up 3 there. They're just so good offensively rebounding the basketball. I mean, Eddie tipped it. It literally banks in. But the biggest struggle tonight is we gave up plays out of timeouts where we've just got to be a little more detailed when it comes to what Coach Pander is telling him is going to happen. We had multiple times that we gave scouting stuff that we didn't quite execute, right? So we need to be better at that. It hurt tonight to have one guy out. We have a hard time. We would have been bigger if we'd been healthy, but a tough loss that really sits on me.
Thank you, Coach Shower. Wheaton loses here 75-79 to the Elmhurst Blue Jays. They lose their first conference game of the year and drop to 7-2 overall for the season. They'll head next Saturday to Illinois Wesleyan University, where they'll play another conference matchup. And then over winter break, they'll head out to New Jersey, where they'll play at the Stevens Institute of Technology tournament. For WTSN and Josh Beisel, I'm Dalton Van Esselston. Have a good night.